and I'm the Community Water Officer for South Roscommon. And my role really is, I suppose, working with communities and different groups who have an interest in their rivers and lakes and looking after them. Here today we're looking at the River Hind, which is an important river for, I suppose, Roscommon, and particularly Roscommon town, as one of the tributaries forming the Hind starts off in Roscommon, called the River Jiggy. And also you have Rock Savage, and the two come together to form the Hind, which goes on into Portrunny Bay, and it's full of wildlife. And I'm going to maybe mention a poem that brings that out. So, blessed your river community, trout, perch, bream, otters, bats and water rats, frogs that spawn by your stream. Sacred the life you nourish, rushes, sedges, reeds, swans, coots, starlings, insects feeding on your weeds. That's taken from a poem by Sister Kathleen Glennon from Cloneskert. And I think it just describes the aquatic biodiversity of the river and the different habitats associated with the river. But I also think it gives an indication of the significance of the rivers and waters for ourselves as humans, and our role in both using the water and also looking after it. Whether we're farming or house owners or whatever we're doing, that we all have a role to play in looking after it and kind of remembering that other species are dependent on it other than just ourselves.
My name is Gallagher and I'm a Conservation Ranger with the National Parks and Wildlife Service, and I cover South County Roscommon. One of my main roles is to monitor wildlife populations, in particular vulnerable species and also protected habitats. The River Hind in Roscommon acts as a wildlife corridor for many of Ireland's protected species. Elusive river residents such as kingfisher and otter have been recorded here. The floodplains of the River Hind are very important for wintering bird species that migrate to Ireland, including hooper swan, curlew, whimbrel, redshank and golden plover. Resident breeding wader species along these floodplains include lapwing and snipe. Not only are these river habitats important for themselves and the species that rely on them, a clean, healthy river system is important for us. However, threats such as pollution, pesticides and invasive species are negatively impacting the aquatic ecosystems here in Ireland. A healthy river ecosystem will protect us from flooding, help regulate climate, break down wastes and recycle nutrients, filter and purify water, maintain soil fertility, purify our air, and provide goods such as wood, textiles, and of course food. Quiet, undisturbed reed bed habitat here provides excellent roosting habitat for many of our wintering birds, such as mallard, teal, widgeon and tufted duck. And it also provides excellent nesting habitat for our resident breeders such as mute swan, little grebe, great crested grebe, tufted duck and coot. The mouth of the River Hind opens into Lough Ree next to Portrunny Bay. Lough Ree is the third largest lake in the Republic of Ireland and is designated as a special area of conservation for its protected habitats, and as a special protection area for its vulnerable species.
My name is Harman Muragh, and we're here on the shores of Lough Ree to talk about two of the inlets on the west bank, Gailey Bay and Portrunny in particular. And Gailey is a very historic place. It's recorded that here in the mid-14th century, William Boy O'Kelly built a castle, and he held in 1351 a great gathering of poets, harpers, rhymers and jesters, and he wined them and dined them royally, and even built streets and houses to accommodate them during the gathering. Later on there was a small settlement of Quakers at Gailey, and then there was a series of regattas held in the very early years of the 20th century. The regatta went on for several years there, and the programs, some of the programs of it survived. Portrunny was the site of an early Christian parish church, probably served by the monks on Inchcleraun, because there's a holy well here which is dedicated to St. Diarmaid, who was the founder of the monastery on Inchcleraun. Be that as it may, it's remarkable today as being the location of a splendid harbour, one of the few harbours really to accommodate boats on Lough Ree. It's at the end of a very sheltered bay, and apart from the great stone harbour which I'm standing on, there's also a very ample system of floating jetties, which makes it very convenient for boats to use. And so it's the scene of a lot of boating activity, and indeed occasionally a regatta.